These are directions for FACT Module B, Assessment of Teaching and Learning. This module is going to be a series of 3 different steps, and I'm going to work through those right now in this recording. You have actually already completed step 1, and so we're going to focus on step 2 in this particular video. So the assessment of teaching and learning really allows you to look at your prior knowledge about who you are as a teacher, what you did in your preliminary credential courses. And then it allows you to assess your current practices, identifying areas of strength and identifying areas that you would like to grow in. You can see all of the different documents here. You have B11, B12, B2 through 4, and then all of the other supporting documents that you're going to use in the module. So step 1 we actually already completed, which was the teacher preparation to induction conversation, and we did that in our live online session where you looked at the preliminary standards for teacher credentialing, and then you also looked at the induction standards. Then where you are in the process now on step 2 is going to be the initial classroom observation, and then the self-assessment of teaching and learning is going to be step 3 in the process. So let's go ahead and take a look at step 2 a little bit closer. So for step 2, you're going to be holding, it's actually the first classroom observation that your support provider is going to work with you on. So they're going to come and observe, or they're going to be watching the video that you send them. You're going to hold a pre-observation conversation with your support provider. That can be by phone, by Skype, FaceTime, in person. And so you're going to think about everything that you gathered in Module A in your context for teaching and learning, what you learned about your students, what you learned about your school site, what you learned about all of those different things. And so for the conversation, you'll think about all of those. Then you're going to bring a completed KWO chart, and we'll take a look at that shortly. And your support provider is going to set up a time to come and watch your classroom or observe the video, and then your support provider is actually going to observe. After the observation, you're going to have a post-observation discussion, and this is all a part of Module B, Step 2, and then you'll move into into Step 3. Step 3 will have another video on it. So let's take a look at the documents that you'll be using for Module B, Step 2. This chart should look familiar. It's the one that we used in the online session. And then this is where you're going to begin in Module B. So you're going to fill out the KWO chart. So what you know about your instructional practice already, what you would like to know about your instructional practice. So something that you're thinking, hey, I want to know if they can observe this. And then what you would like your support provider to observe. So normally what you want to know is directly affects what you would like your support provider to observe. So for example, if you want to know if you're differentiating to meet your EL students, then you want your support provider to see if your lesson design meets the need of EL students, okay? So this will help you in your pre-observation conversation. And of course, there's no right or wrong answer. This is just where you are and what you're thinking about your practice. So after you've completed this, you will contact and be in contact with your support provider to hold that pre-observation conversation. And at that conversation, you want to set the time where they're going to come and observe your classroom, or they're going to be watching the lesson sent by video recording or put in Dropbox by video recording. B3 is completed by your support provider. As they observe, they're going to be writing down evidence of the CSTPs, and they will also be writing down evidence for the Induction Program Standard 6A and Induction Program Standard 6B. So how are you working with your English learners, and how are you working with your special populations? So this is a spot definitely in the pre-observation conversation that you would want to identify who are your English language learners and who are your special populations. So when they come in for the observation, it may be good to have a seating chart with those 2 student populations marked. And again, if you don't have if you don't have English learners, you can use your lowest English proficient student. And your special populations, that can include students who are struggling, who have IEPs, but also your gifted and talented students that you would have to differentiate for, or possibly provide extra or different support for. So please make sure that before the observation that you know who your English learner students are and who your special populations are. If you're doing a recording, when you give them the recording, you can send them an email letting them know who is wearing what clothes or what color or where they're sitting. So after your support provider completes the observation, you're actually going to have a post-observation reflection. And this B3 is completed by your support provider. The post-observation reflection, your support provider can fill it out or you can fill it out. Sometimes the participating teacher likes to go ahead and reflect on it. Ideally, you reflect on the lesson immediately afterwards, but sometimes that doesn't always work with our schedule. So try to go ahead, and if it's a live observation, try to get the post-observation reflection in about 24 hours, no later than 24 hours afterwards. And if you're sending a recording, that's a little bit different because you do have to give time for your support provider to watch the recording and then get back to you. Okay? And that is Module B, Step 2. Module B, Step 3 will then look at doing a full self-evaluation, and another recording will be sent on that. All right, have fun with Module B, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of your replies. Thank you.